This is the Turkey Creek School, and this is where I started school. I'm Angela Berry Rushing, and I went to school here my first 2 years. Okay, and this is my first teacher, Elsie Morris.
Is Elsie Compton then?
Okay.
And I'm Elsie Compton, Lancaster. I went to school here my second 2 years, and my mother was my teacher.
Okay. I'm Alice Richardson Moore. I went to school here my first year. Must have been about 41. And Elsie was my teacher.
Good. This school was built on this land, which was donated by R.R. and Rachel Daniel. They donated the land for a school in 1923. And they worked on the school, building it, and the first year that they had school here was in 1925. And I guess Mother went to school probably her first or second year then. And Elsie was her teacher. One of the things that I remember while we're sitting here on the steps has to do with the steps. There was a game that we played on the steps.
Yeah, what were they?
Okay, let's see if Niva remembers playing a game on this step where we'd line up at the bottom, and whoever was it held a gravel or a marble or something in their hand, and they'd hold it like this in front, and you chose the hand you thought it was in. You hit the hand, and when they opened it, if you had made the right guess, you got to move up a step. And the one that moved up first to the top was it the next time. Now, wasn't that a fun game out here?
Well, my favorite thing was playing in the playhouse. How we would build our playhouses with rocks, the rooms, you know, and we'd build our furniture, and that would be our house the whole school term. And we'd play, and the bigger kids would make us draw us pictures, and we'd hang them on trees. And that was my main thing. That was a lot more fun than studying.
How about you, Alice? Do you remember any games?
I remember another tree out this way. The road was farther that way, and there was another tree that had a big root that ran along the top of the ground, and we would sit on it and eat lunch, and we played out there a lot. I also remember the playhouses a lot.
Do you remember playing stealing sticks?
Stealing sticks, tag, Annie over. We used to play Annie over going here.
Yeah.
Things like that.
And Red Rover. That's Annie over, isn't it? Red Rover. Yeah.
But, a lot of playing here in front.
And the games that we played, there wasn't any equipment. It was just things that you picked up on the playground and so forth.
We had no toys, no kind of toys.
No slides or swings or nothing like that.
But we sure had a lot of fun.
We did.
And another thing about the doors, the rule was if you needed to go to the restroom, you didn't bother the teacher because she was probably teaching a class. But you could go to the restroom without asking permission. But you tuck your book and you laid it in the door. And that was a signal to everyone else that no one else could leave the room. And the boys' restroom was out here. It was an outside toilet. And I want to explain what that is. The girls was out this way. And I remember one time I forgot to leave my book in the door. And I carried it all the way to the toilet. And I just knew I was going to be in terrible trouble when I got back out here. The teacher probably didn't know that I was even gone. Aunt Elsie, or Miss Compton, can I call you Aunt Elsie? Okay. Do you remember the recitation benches?
Not too much.
The bench that went all the way
Oh,
across
yeah.
the front
That's
of the
right,
room?
that's right.
And how was that used?
The bench used to come out
The bench that we sit on,
in
would
there.
you bring a class up to that bench?
Mhm.
And this was classes 1 through 8. And you'd bring a class up, and like if you were in the first grade reading class, they'd come up and sit on the recitation bench
That's right.
and have their class. The rest of the class, what were they doing while one was having class?
Well, they were waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're just kind of looking over their lessons, what they'd had, you know, and maybe working a little more on them.
Do you remember any of the activities in school other than studying the books and having recitations and that sort of thing? Do you remember any of the activities?
Mhm.
I've heard my mother tell about spelling bees on Friday afternoon and things like that.
Bees.
Spelling bee, like spelling
Spelling.
contest.
Oh, yeah. Mhm. Yes.
And I've heard her tell that,
Spelling classes.
uh-huh, that your dad was on the school board at different times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she said that he would come up on Friday afternoon to watch the activities and bring wood to the school.
Bring what?
Wood.
Yeah.
What'd you use that wood for?
Well, we had just a light wood, just a little bit of wood, you know, just for a little bit of wax. Sometimes we had to have a little fire.
In the wood stove? And you fired the stove? What are some of the things that a teacher did back in the early days?
Well, it was teaching the kids.
Okay. And where did you get your water?
You know, don't they have a well out here, right over there?
Over here's the well.
How many of you remember the spoon you had down here? What did you do about eating?
We brought a biscuit with some beans in between it from home.
Carried it
You
in
brought,
a large
your
bucket.
food from home, didn't you?
Boiled egg,
Didn't you?
egg sandwich. It was good.
Don't you remember bringing your food from home?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then
What?
huh?
What did we drink out of? Do you remember? What did we drink our water out of?
Well, you know, some people had those little cups, like a aluminum cup or a tin cup that folded down. Did you have one of those? And you could pull it up and it would hold water, and you dip water into your cup and drink it out of the cup. Then you folded it down when you weren't using
We
it.
folded a piece of paper and made a paper cup.
Yeah, I remember doing that, filling paper.
Now, they had school here until 1949. At that time, the legislature mandated that schools be consolidated. So the kids that went to this school started going to real special. And this building has been used for revival, Sunday school, and so forth since then. The last thing that it was used for was a voting precinct. And it was used for that until just a few years ago. And it was moved, the precinct was moved to Rushing. So It's not used anymore except occasionally for a wedding. There was a big wedding here this summer. Was it this summer? Or
Last summer.
Last summer. It's on the Register of Historical Places, the Arkansas Register of Historical Places, and also the National Register of Historical Places. And I always thought that I would like to set it up like the old one-room schools, and bring a class down here and have class here all day, and let them see what it was like in the old one-room schools.
I am Elvina Callahan Green, and I think it was when I was in the first grade. Well, I went to school with Athene a few days. Best I remember, the schoolhouse up at Sunnyland had burned, and they hadn't got it finished yet for the school year. So I come down here and went to school for a while till they got it finished. Yeah.
Joel Green. I went to school here. Started in 38, I think, 39, possibly either fall school 38 or early 39. And graduated from 8th grade in 46, and then went to real special that fall. 45 instead of 46. Went there 2 years. Went in service and graduated from high school in South Korea through a GED test. So.
Ruby Morris, and I walked to school across the foot log as I come across the creek, and sometimes I'd walk it and cry as I was walking across. But I got to when Carl Hinesley taught school here, when he was coming off the hill, I'd run out there and walk with him all the way down to Athene Barry Branscombe. Did I get it wrong? Branscombe Barry. I went to school here. All my schooling was here. I went through the 8th grade here. I think I went through the 8th grade twice, just to go to school. But my first teacher was Jeannie Wilson. Oh, Mr. Wilson. And I can remember, about the main thing I remember is, I think it was Haskell Wilson. When he'd get on to me, he wouldn't say anything, he'd just squeeze my head.
Okay, you taught school in this one-room schoolhouse, Turkey
Yes, I
Creek
did.
Schoolhouse. When did you start?
Back in my young days.
You were 16 years old, and you started teaching here?
Yeah, that's right. Been teaching in 8th grade.
Okay. And the school started here in 1925 was the first year they had school. And they had school here until 1949. But you taught much longer than that, didn't you?
Yeah, when they had teaching, wow.
You taught until 1979, and this school was consolidated with Rural Special School. And you later taught at Rural Special, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Bigger school because they had more kids.
They had all 12 grades, where here they had only 1 through 8.
That's right.
Okay, how did you get to school?
How'd we get to school? We walked.
Walk. When you taught out at Parma, how did you get out there? That would be quite a walk.
Yeah, that'd be quite a walk.
Did you ride a bicycle?
No, I don't think we did. I forgot how.
You ride a horse?
No, did we? We did ride. I did ride a horse again.
Okay, you rode a horse
Maud
to
and Fanny.
school. Maud and Fanny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
One of them one time and another time. Or usually I'd take both of them and somebody else would ride one of them while I rode one. Maud and Fanny.
And how old are you now?
101?
Yes.
An old lady. You want me to whip you now?
No.
Were you one of my school kids?
Yes, I was.
Okay then, you behave yourself.
I was a good one.
A good one, of course you were. Open the door, 5, 6, pick up 6, 7, 8, lay them straight. 9, 10, a big fat hen, 11, 12, a whippoorwill. 13, 14, grub, girls a courting. 15, 16, boys a plenty.